Nearly a decade after Erin Andrews was diagnosed with cervical cancer, the sportscaster told E! News she can't treat appointments as routine. But she does have a winning play to deal with the stress. En route to a recent dermatologist appointment, Erin Andrews came this close to calling an audible. "I was going to get the old full-body scan, make sure the moles are all good there," the sportscaster explained in an exclusive interview with E! News, admitting she'd already put off the yearly obligation. "And I just got so nervous on my way to the checkup that I was like, traffic's bad. Maybe I'll just cancel this and go another time." She kept driving down the proverbial field, she detailed, but not without a whole mess of nerves. "That was my anxiety," the 46-year-old admitted. "I just didn't want to hear anything bad." Because the prominent Fox Sports sideline reporter has already caught her share of terrifying news. Back in the fall of 2016, Andrews was simply focused on squeezing in her annual visit to the OB/GYN between taping her hosting gig on Dancing with the Stars and her weekend job on the gridiron. "I wasn't thinking about any bad news," she acknowledged. "I was thinking, let's get all my appointments done before football season." Then she got the call that changed everything. "I had cancer," she detailed, cervical cancer. Her head fully in the game, "I was more worried about getting better for work, because that's my happy place," she recalled of prepping to go under the knife. "I felt like, okay, we're going to do this surgery and we're going to figure it out." After the initial procedure that October, "I found out my cancer went past the margins and I needed even more surgery," she recounted. So, yeah, it was a lot. But she huddled up with family and friends and was declared cancer-free in November. "I remember the day after my second surgery, I was finding out the results on a Monday, and I was actually at Dancing with the Stars," she recounted of getting the call from her surgeon while prepping for dress rehearsal with her stylist. Taking the stage after, alongside co-host Tom Bergeron, "I said, 'What are you doing tonight?'" Andrews detailed. "And he said, 'Nothing. I'm just going home after the show.' And I said, 'No, you're going to the bar with me after the show. I just found out I'm cancer-free.'" She wasn't necessarily trying to dance around the news, she explained, "It was just that she wanted to get through it all and try to figure out what was going on before I shared with people." Her main takeaway, said Andrews, who detailed her diagnosis in a January 2017 Sports Illustrated piece, was that it was a darn good thing that I went to go get checked, because it was treatable. We had caught it early enough. Which is why she was eager to team up with AstraZeneca and Hockey Fights Cancer for a national public health campaign that stresses the importance of getting body checked against cancer. "Go to the doctor," urged Andrews, who's releasing a limited edition screen-themed t-shirt through her Wear by Erin Andrews brand. "Just get it over with. I know it sucks, but think about the great fast food meal you're going to have." Because that's her big play following any appointment she's been dreading. "I go treat myself to a giant burger and fries," shared Andrews, mom to 20-month-old son Mac with husband Jarrett Stoll, "because I feel like I deserve it." And on the side, she enjoys a dollop of reassurance from her most dedicated teammate. "Stoll wasn't even my husband yet when Andrews received her initial cancer diagnosis. And it came during what she called a whopper of a month, a weeks-long stretch that saw them coping with the death of the NHL center's nephew. And the news that he'd been released from his tryout contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets after stints with the Edmonton Oilers, the Los Angeles Kings and the New York Rangers. But through it all, Andrews reflected, "My husband was on it. I remember my parents saying, 'I knew that he was the one for you because he really held the doctors responsible.'" As she remembers it, Stoll, now in player development for the Kings, really went into athlete coach mode and helped guide us through. Now she leans on her entire squad whenever she has to go in for follow-up appointments. "Nearly a decade after she first heard the word cancer, honestly, it affects me in the sense where I don't go to appointments thinking it's all going to be okay," she said. "I prepare myself. At her once every 6 months mammogram, for instance, I do the ultrasound right there because I just want to know," she shared. "And there have been times they've said to me, 'You need to come back.' And I've had an absolute panic attack in the waiting room, but that's what happens. You take news and these appointments differently now that you have dealt with cancer before. The upside, though, is that the wins feel a lot bigger. Like the post-game celebration she has each time she goes into the cancer center. I am always on a text chain with my family, she detailed. We're reciting National Lampoon's Vacation lines, Ferris Bueller's Day Off lines, Sex and the City lines to get me through it. And then afterwards, it's a big, like, hey, everything's good, we're good here, and everybody's so excited. So, yeah, you celebrate the wins a little bit more. Of course, she's not the only star to have faced off with the disease and emerged victorious.